Yes. Yes. Right now, currently in our humidor, we'll have someplace between 15 and 18 different blends that Mr. Bonilla blends for us, and there is obviously a consistency within each blend in each size of the cigar, which is what you need when your customer base gets a cigar they like. They don't want to have it be hit or miss. They want to be consistent, and that's where Mr. Bonilla comes in, because when you get tobacco will come in what's called a pekka, which is, for lack of a better term, a pallet, between 120, 125 pounds. The body and the taste of the tobacco sometimes does change as you get deeper into the pekka, and knowing this, he'll slightly change the blend of the cigar so that it tastes consistent throughout, from one cigar to the next.
And that's very important. You want your cigars to be consistent. And you would think that being a smaller business, a smaller cigar operation, that you may have those inconsistencies because we don't have access to, some of the larger tobacco fields like some of the bigger names do. But the good thing about Bonilla and the way that your father and you operate is that you actually do have access to some of the best tobaccos out there.
Because of Mr. Bonilla and actually Mr. Bonilla's family, we've had the doors open to tobacco fields and tobacco strains that otherwise in the United States, if you were a manufacturer, you just could not get to. But Mr. Bonilla's nephew, Jorgito, who rolls for us in our factory down in the Dominican, is 100% a fantastic source of tobacco. He will not source a tobacco leaf for us if it doesn't pass his quality, and trust me when I tell you that his quality is impeccable.
Yeah, I mean, everything that I've smoked here, even the lighter cigars are phenomenal. They're all excellent. They all taste great. And I'm not a flavored cigar guy. Okay, I'm just going to throw that out there. But I have to be honest, even our flavored cigars are pretty good.
Still a handmade, hand-rolled, hand-blended cigar with just a flavor infused.
And that's the good thing about here is everything is handmade and hand-rolled.
Yes.
You're not going to get any machine-rolled cigar. That's just not how we operate.
Nope.
So when it comes to this cigar, I recommend you get one. If you got to call the shop and have them ship you one, that's fine. I'll put up the shop's information. But this is, if you like a stronger cigar, this is consistently a great tasting cigar. And while it does have that sweetness, I mean, you do get a little bit of stronger earthy tones to it also. It's very vegetable, but in a good way.
Yes. Yes, it is a full-bodied smoke, make no mistake. And that's when I was alluding to the sweetness, to the aroma of this particular leaf. It is deceiving.
It is deceiving, very deceiving.
It almost smells like pipe tobacco until you smoke it. Right.
And you're like, no, this is definitely not a pipe.
No.
It's definitely not a pipe or a Swisher Sweet.
No.
Now, you had these in the 4.5, 4-inch, 60 by, 60 ring gauge, 4.5 long, 4 long. Now, as you saw us clip one earlier, you have the 6-inch variety by 60 ring gauge.
Yes.
And what was the deciding factor to go ahead and do that?
Basically, it came down to two things: the popularity of the smaller cigar. And there is a cigar shop in Saratoga Springs, New York, that was selling the Bulldog roll in this cigar. His shop tended to prefer longer 60 ring gauge cigars. So because we manufacture,
we can make the Toros out of it.
Yep.
I love this cigar.
You're going to need about an hour and 10 minutes to get through the whole thing.
You are, but I love this cigar. I smoked one Saturday night, and I had a family situation going on, and I did not want to put it down to take a family picture. That's how good of a cigar this was. So I really didn't want to put it down. The Brazilian Gordo that we discussed last week has always been my favorite cigar. It may be being replaced. Gotta be honest with you, because this is such a dynamite cigar, and because of the length. I mean, obviously, whenever you smoke a cigar, and as you smoke farther down, the taste changes a little bit. But this went almost through like 3 flavor changes.
Yes.
And each one was just as good, if not better, as you got farther down into it. Now, because it's a strong cigar, you have to take your time with it.
Yes.
You can't smoke it quick, or you're going to smoke yourself out.
Yes, that'll turn you green.
Yes, a little bit. And it's dynamite. I mean, this is a great cigar. And another thing I really like about this Pennsylvania broadleaf is that the wrapper itself, when you're holding it, it has a nice oily feel to it.
Yes.
It's got a nice sheen to it. I mean, it's just a pretty cigar.
And those oils are what's going to help that flavor change as you're smoking through it. It's such an oily wrapper that there's nothing that you can do. As you smoke that oil is going to come up that cigar, and it is going to change your cigar.
Yeah. But it changes it for the better.
I'm not a strong cigar smoker regularly. This is a very nice cigar. This one is one that I do when I'm in the mood for something a little bit on the stronger side.
I tend to be in the mood for something on the stronger side a lot. Like 90% of the time I smoke a cigar. And this is one of the ones that I could smoke all the time and be completely happy. And this one also.
If you just look at the ash on this.
Nice grayish black.
And because we use all premium long fill filler, I could smoke that cigar with the single ash all the way down to the end, except that I'm not going to be that careful with it.
And now that's what you just said is very important. You talked about the fillers being long fillers.
Yes.
And there's 2 different types of fillers usually. You have the long fill, and then you have the short fill. I don't believe there's a medium fill.
No.
Yeah. So long fill, short fill. Now the long fill lends itself to having that type of ash.
Yep.
Because it's one consistent piece of tobacco.
And the other thing it will also do is it'll give you a longer smoke, because the leaf inside isn't chopped up and small and then compressed together.
Right.
And in a future episode, we'll show you what a filler leaf actually looks like, and then you'll get a very good idea of what we're talking about. It's a little bit easier once you can see the filler. And actually, in another future episode, when we have the master roller actually doing a little bit of blending for us, you'll get an idea of just what we're talking about when we say a full leaf goes in. It literally is a full leaf folded into itself. As
opposed to short fill, which is
chopped up. Yeah.
And you don't want that.
That's cigarette and gas station cigars.
Yes. Sorry, Garsha Vega. Cristo too.
White owls.
Hey man, leave those Dutches alone.
Mm-hmm. I will.
Yes, absolutely. Never. Well, that was the Pennsylvania Maduro broadleaf. It's really, it's an awesome cigar.
Should we tell them about the segment we want to start doing? For those of you who are residents or inhabitants of New York State, we got something special coming up for you. Keep an eye out for it.
Absolutely. It's going to be fun. This is Beyond the Smoke. We'll see you next week.
Keep smoking.